Okay, pilots, we'll see if we can get her together. Now, I've done a few things, just a few little things, because I was testing out them pins. I went ahead and put them on the bottom. Now what I've done here, on this edge right here, well, you got to put some pressure on that thing to get it down. I mean, it's got to get down. I mean, it's indented the styrofoam right there on the wing, but man, I mean, it's got to be tight. Got to be tight. You get your little pin started there. And once you get that first one started, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But it'll go. It'll go. But this next one ain't gonna be fun. But I want to show you this. There's a little carbon fiber rod, if you can see it there. I got the other one right here, sticking out right here. I'm gonna try to get them in. But in order to put those on, that's optional, so you don't have to put them on if you don't want to. But in order to put those on, I had to take a drill. And where that thing goes in right there, where the little rod goes into it, I had to take this little small enough drill, same size width as the rod, and drill it out a little bit, just a little bit, all right? And then you got the hole up here. Right here is two holes in that base that you stick the other end up in. Well, they got the hole that you stick the rod in straight up and down. Well, you can't get no rod that's in a 45-degree angle into a straight up and down hole, 90-degree hole. So you got to take your drill bit, you know what I'm talking about. You got to wire it, get it into the 45-degree angle, and kind of aim towards that little brace down there and try to get your angle right. But that's what you got to do. And it says you don't have to glue it. If you glue it, you can't get your wings apart. But I went ahead and put me some epoxy right there on the top just to hold them two in. I mean, my goodness, why not? But both sides had to be drilled out. You can see it. I had to drill it. And I also put me a little epoxy down there on the end. But I've got them set. Got those two in, both sides. I mean, let me get a little closer. Let me see if I can get it close where you can see. I mean, it indented that styrofoam there a little bit to get it down low enough to slide in. But I'm thinking on the top. The only thing it says on instructions is install the wing. Okay, so that's all you got. I mean, literally, that's all you got. You just got a picture here to see if you can see it. Get the light right on it. But it just got a picture there with two arrows pointing the wing to go down. You know, install your wing, that's all. But, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mount it to this bracket here. I'm gonna get my pins underneath, and I'm gonna worry about these out here until I get this mounted. And then I'm gonna flip my plane over and I'm gonna lay it down on the floor here where I can put pressure on that top wing and get that pin in. And we'll see if that'll work. And if that don't work, this video might turn into a 2-hour build. 3-hour voyage. Blind as a bat and out of control. Alright. That's what I'm gonna try to do first. I think I can get those two rods, this end here, into the mount with it already mounted. Now this is going to be the trick because it's kind of got a little key slide in there that the wing's got to go slide into that, plus it's got to come up enough to slide into the two holes, two guide pins. Two guide pins is in the top there. But that right there is kind of like a tongue and groove slide. And I cut a little bit, let me show you that, where I cut a little bit out of the wing there for my rods to fit in without putting any pressure on the wing. put my finger back behind the base there. I've got the tongue and groove lined up because it's already started there a little bit. I hope. But something's stopping me here. That must be what it is right there. Yep, that was what was stopping me. There she goes. Let's get her little horns lined up into their holes. Imagine that. Where's it lined up? See that there? Goodness gracious. That don't even go in as much as that other one did. Oof. Boy, I tell you what, now they want me to put some pressure on that thing now. Let's see. I think I would drill them out too. Little rod out. You got to hold that little rod in a certain angle. Plus you got to have it out there far enough to go in. You ain't got it in that angle, it ain't going in there. Down, it's gonna go in that one. Okay. Got that side. Now let's see if we can get that pin in it. Alright. Now I got it started with my hand last night, but I might have to use these pliers on this one. Let me get this around here. I might be able to do it with it up on this stand. I'll try it and see. First one started. See how much pressure I had to put on that thing? It's almost to the breaking point, I tell you. It's almost to the breaking point. I'm putting my hand right on top of the wing, right above the strut. And then on the strut, it's made out of foam right here in the center, but the base is plastic. So you want to try to get your hand up there and get your fingers up there on that plastic and hold on to it, okay? Because if you hold on to your styrofoam, you're just gonna crush it. I mean, it's just gonna crush. So you're trying to get a hold of that plastic and push up on it. Let me get it in there a little bit further to the hips. This might not be too much of a pain after all, but I'm gonna turn that to the side. Yeah, it went right in there. Alrighty. Let's turn it, let's go back up a little bit because it won't go to the side all the way in. So you gotta leave it out just a little bit for it to turn to the side. But that, when that turns on, unbelievable. I don't know. I thought I drilled them holes out. I might have to take that drill bit because it ain't going in there a whole lot. I might put some the hole's not on the wing for this end. The hole's on the landing gear. Well, it's on the landing gear mount. And it goes in like so, but it's got to go into a special angle so that it goes into it and stays there. If it don't have that angle, it won't stay in there. It just pop right out like a tight bow. Okay, let me get this. Where's that? Got the camera on the tripod, trying to get it turned. Let's see here. See where that rod goes into the landing gear there? There's just a little hole there. And you gotta hold it in a certain angle. You can see where I crushed my styrofoam a little bit. I tell you, you're gonna be putting some pressure on it. But there is a spar in that thing. There's a spar in your strap. So let's move over here now. Here we go. Get this thing into an angle. You can see it. I hope you could see what I was doing along the pallets. Let's see. I'm gonna move it up a bit higher. Let me get a better view this time. This tripod is an old telescope. Well, actually, it wasn't a telescope. It was a spotter scope. And I broke the mount on it when they pushed down on it a little bit. Broke the mount on it. So I took some urethane that we used to glue windshields in with, stuck it on the back of it. And it held it there for a little while. I think my time limit is 30 minutes. And it starts falling off. Check my time on that, Mr. Love. I think that's what it was, 30 minutes, and that thing started falling off. One night it fell off on me. God, it was a trip. Yeah, that goes up in there. But it's got to go tight. I'm pushing it in there real good already to see if I can get it going in there. It wouldn't hurt to maybe take a hobby knife and just barely shave them horns a little bit, but man, you kind of want this thing to be tight. You kind of want it to be that way. You don't want it to be loose. You don't want that pin coming out in midair. Come on now. You want it to be tight. Tight. I want it to be tight. Oh, it's very tight, very tight. Oh, it's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, yes. All the way in. There it goes. Leave it out just a little bit and give me enough room to fold it over. That one went in. Now, like I said, I'm going to put some epoxy on them rods there. It's just barely long enough. It's just barely long enough. Now that one went in that time. Okay. Yep, it's just barely long enough. Okay. Alright, that got that. That went in there pretty good. Just put you some pressure on it. I mean, it's gonna, you might wrinkle up your foam right a little bit. Let me get the light over and see if we did. Yep, see there? I mean, you know, but it's tight. That pin ain't coming out. But that's got the wing on. Now I supposedly have got my controller set up for this AS3S 3X. Let me get back down to earth here. I'm gonna go ahead. I got the battery in there. Before I put the prop on. Now, I've got it powered up with the plug in it. You put your bind plug in. Now, this is if you're going to use Safe Select or the autopilot that I call it, the AX3S. AX3S is an autopilot, okay? In order to make a turn, you're going to have to hold your stick over almost half the distance to the left or the right, whichever way you're turning, and pull it all the way back. I'm talking all the way back to make the turn. And your plane is barely going to get up into about a 45 at the most of a turning angle, and barely starts coming around when you got that stick pulled all the way back. Now that's with the total AX3X on, AS3X on. Now safe is a different story. Safe is when your plane is in a mode to where you're in control of the plane. You can get the plane up to however deep of an angle of turn you want it. You can do your loops. You can do your jackknives or whatever it is you want to do, Cuban 8s. But what happens in safe is, let's say you flying straight and level and the wind hits it and makes the plane jerk. Well, safe will correct that because the transmitter didn't make that command to the plane. If the transmitter made that order to those servos to make that plane turn, then the safe won't do nothing. But if the plane does something without that receiver receiving a command, that's when that safe kicks in. That's the reason when safe's on and you turn it up to the side, that aileron will jump a little bit, but it'll go right back to flat. Even if you got the plane upside down, it'll still be flat. Well, that's what it's doing. It felt the plane go up, it tried to make the adjustment, and that was it. Then the plane's back into your control again. Because in the air, if it made that little bit of adjustment, it'd go back flat. But if you holding it in your hand there, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? But try that with your plane, all right? Now, this is what I want you to do, too. When you're holding a plane and you got your controller hooked up, you got it all bound and everything, and you're holding your plane, I want you to move the stick to turn it. I'll show you in a minute when I plug the battery in and get it all ready. The plane will start turning, but it'll want to turn more to get it to correct. That's what the AX3S is. But if you keep turning it, it's going to keep trying. But if you got the controller into a right turn or a left turn, then it'll get to a point to where the aileron starts flattening out. It's fighting it, but it's still flattening out. So the more that you move the stick over, the more that aileron starts flattening out. Not trying to turn, but flattening out. Okay? And when you get, you're moving the plane up like this right here, you're turning it in the side. And when you get that stick over far enough to where that aileron is flat, then that's the highest angle of a turn that you're going to be able to make with that gyro on. Now, in safe, you can do whatever you want, but in the AX3S or whatever kind of gyro you got, it's going to do that. See? So you got to find that, what I call the sweet spot in a turn. You got to find that sweet spot, and every one of them is different. Don't even the same kind of receiver, every one of them is different. So you just got to pick that plane up, turn it as you moving the stick. You might have to get somebody to help you, but you keep turning that plane until you get that stick to get that aileron to stay flat, and that shows you what kind of an angle that you're going to be able to make a turn in. That's the only way I can explain it to you. Try it and see yourself. All right, we got the plug in because I'm going to try to be able to turn it on and off. So we're going to plug this thing up. Got the propeller off. I left the propeller off right now. hope this thing can go here. Now none of the rods on the tail is tied in. And why ain't I going in here? There we go. Now my AX3 is going. Now I've got to take the plug out now before I turn my DX6E on. But Spectrum, you got to be about 10 foot away. So don't go freaking crazy when it don't bind. Just get a little further away from it. It'll do it. Alright. Oh, I'm going to break my toe on my light. There it went. Now, I've got my AX and my safe all supposed to be hooked up. Now look at my plane crooked. I knew that'd be something. Always is, always is. Okay. I've got aileron, but I know I'm not going to have the up and down, but let me see if the rod's is, yes, rod's moving and it's centered. Got a rudder. Yep. Uh-oh, hit my power there. I gotta put some expo in it. Rudder's right. Let's see here. Let's see that rod again. So if I'm pulling up, that would make my thing go up. Yep. I got up and down, right? So that means, now when everything is right, that means your gyro corrections are gonna be right too, okay? So yep, everything's right there. Now, I don't know what position I put my switch in, but let's see here. Let's see what it does. You got to put it, oh, that's right. You gotta give her some power. You gotta give it like, I think it says 30% power. I just kind of give her a juice there since her propeller ain't on. All right, now my gyro is completely on right now because that aileron is wanting to stay over there. You see how it, I know you can't see it. But that aileron is wanting to stay over there and try to straighten this plane. That's what it's trying to do. Knock my rod, one of them rods out. I know it. There it went back in. Hey, I don't know how long them little carbon rods is gonna last, pilots. I just don't know. Okay, now let me hit this switch here and see if I've turned it off. If I've done that right. Well, at least it's correcting right that way. Let me see which way that rod's moving. I can't see it. I'm gonna have to hook it up anyway. Why ain't my switch working? I thought I designated a switch. Well, let's try our handles. Now this one. Pulling my sticks down to the inside lower corners. And I'm gonna hit the switch here and see if it'll turn it on and off. 5 times. Oh, now there went. Now did you hear that? Did you hear them things go crazy? All right. That's another method. Now the method I used before. Okay. You go into you. I want you to look at this now. I know you people probably think I live in a dust hole, but I got 15 of these things. I don't use them all the time. Oh, I got a stain right there. But anyway, let's see if I can get the light to come on. Yep, there we go. You go into servo setup, go into mix, go into another setup page there. You got to go over and put the mix on the gear is the annex channel, and then you go over and you got to add 5 degrees or whatever it is to it. But I can't do it now because you can't go into that system in these Spectrums, because if you do, it'll turn the signal off and the plane will go nuts. So I'm gonna go back into this. Got that, okay. Now I used, let's see. Yeah, that's the one because I wanted all three. Use a 3 toggle switch if you want on and off. If you want the gyro completely off, that'll be one positioning switch. The next position would be safe and safe only. And then the last position would be the AX3S. Okay, I hope I'm saying that right. But anyway, see, the correction is on right now. I mean, that's what I call autopilot. Now let me hit this button here. Nope, wrong one. All right, now that turned it off. See there? Now that button should be safe there. Yep, that's what it's doing. See, it's only correcting when I move the plane, and then it's straightening right back up for the plane to be coming down. Now let me put myself into a turn. Now see, I've got myself into a turn and it's not doing nothing now. See, if you can understand what I'm saying. Just saying, understand what I'm saying, just say it. But that's that. Now, I'm gonna turn this thing back off before I put this prop on it. Because you got to grab a hold of these things. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do. I got to put these pins in my wings so they stay on there. I'm wanting all this trouble to get this stuff in. I got to put these pin locks in. Good my Lord. I'm flipping it over. That battery is secure, so it should stay just perfect. Alright. Now on the inside here, if you can see it, you got these pins that's got to go in a hole there. And you got to make sure it's all the way through, because you got to stick one of these little lock pins in it. That one don't look like it's went all the way through there. I'm pushing on it though, I'm pushing. Yeah, that one went in there. I felt that one tighten up. This one still got a little bit of a gap between the wing and that mount. Alright, that's looking good there. Let's see if I can get her together. Now the ailerons on the top wing is not hooked up yet. I don't have the connecting rods on it. But I do want to get these lock pins in it. Let's see here. Oop, 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 oop. Don't do that. Let me turn it that way. That'll help. Yeah, that helps me. Down here. Oh my goodness. Just kind of tight. Kind of tight there, just kind of tight, a little tight. Let me get my power pliers here. Let's see what my needle knows. Since I didn't need them to put them pins in, maybe I needed to put these in. Alright, so it's going to be going in like so. Missed it. There it went. Alright, that was in. Alright, that was in. And I'm getting the crowd's approval there. Hear them chattering for me. Rods got to be put on the tail of the elevator. Just flip around that way. Now see, there's something I didn't know about my first biplane, how this stand will hold the plane up there like that for you. Now I got this stand on eBay. Something Metal Masters RC.com. Metal and capital Metal Masters RC.com. But like I said, I found on eBay. You can look up RC airplanes accessories on eBay, and you get motors, man. You get all kinds of stuff. Check out eBay every once in a while. It ain't too bad. But right now the price is kind of high because we're kind of in an argument with China. But I agree with it, because once that's over, it's not anything to do with the prices, guys. I mean, the reason that they don't build them planes in this country is because it would cost them so much money in labor. It ain't got nothing to do with materials and molds and stuff like that. Is when you're paying somebody $5 to do the job, you've got to come over here and you've got to pay somebody $15 to do that same job. See? But when President Trump gets a deal with China, it means that they are going to have to start paying their people the same amount of money that we get paid in this country, so that our wages don't go down. Their wages goes up, our wages goes down. We don't want that. We want our wages to stay where they're at. We want our jobs to stay where they're at. We want our money to stay where it's at. Well, go ahead and tell me to stop. I know. Shut up. Yep, that was YouTube telling me to shut up. Oh, I got to get that thing put up. Now it's supposed to be, let me make sure, let me do a little check. I want to check that travel. Now to get a servo to quit whining, you go into your travel there and you kind of ease down on it, or you add on to it, and it'll shut up after a while. You have to go in. But I can tell you right now, Eric Rogers, man, I love that B2 up there, man. I would love to grab a controller and take that thing for a spin, man, but those are the worst, stablest, the most terrible thing to fly. I'm going to have to get a little more experience before I put that thing in there. It has a rudder system turn to where ailerons is on it and the elevator and everything, but you're not really using the ailerons and elevators and turns. You rudder turning that thing because the plane was designed to be stealthy. Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can get that. I went in too far because that needs to stay right there. But they designed the plane to be stable and flat, fly flat. You don't want to get no B2 in a 45-degree angle turn. That means that the radar see it then. They want that plane to make a flat turn, so they designed that split rudder system on the tips of the wings so that plane could turn without even moving the wings up and down. It just used the rudder to do it. So LX model tried to imitate that. Well, I ain't saying tried it. I mean, it works. Mine does. But guys, man, they get on. I've seen it on YouTube, man. They get in them planes and try to fly them jets like they fighters. They got them all flipping and going upside down and vertical and doing figure eights and all kind of stuff. Man, the plane ain't designed to do that. They didn't put that Bombay drop on it for you to do a Cuban 8 in it. They put the Bombay drop on it so you can come around in stealth mode and drop your bomb. It ain't made to go 800 miles an hour. It's made to put that bomb on target without the enemy even knowing it was there. And believe me, I do it too. All right, let's shove that. Now, I ain't put the rod on it. I mean the rod. I hadn't put the little tubing on it. But let's see if I can get it. I got it straight there. But they give you a piece of tubing. And it's advisable to use, especially on the LX models. But Eric, you're gonna have some problems. I mean, you're gonna have a servo might be bad. You might have a landing gear won't even come up and down. I've got to cut the bottom out of mine because one of my main landing gear won't go all the way up. And the only way to fix it is to cut a hole in the bottom of it so I can get to the servo and make the adjustments with the clevis.
there's no way to get to it. Now, if you get one in plug and play, that's the way it is. But if you get one in kit version, which is cheap, hell, I think it ain't but like $170 to get one in kit version. But my God, man, Lord have mercy. In the tube deep, built a F-22, LX model F-22 with twin 70 millimeters in it. Lord have mercy, he had a mess. God almighty. Got it all together, reinforced it with insulation spray. You know the stuff you spray in the walls and it expands? He had took that stuff and sprayed it in the valleys that was in the body of it. And got it out there, and I don't know what happened. After he made his final taxi test, you never seen no more videos of it no more. So I don't think it went well. All right. Let's get our prop on since I run my mouth here for 10 minutes. I'm going to put it down this way. God, look at how much that thing got. Now, I don't think I've even put any rates in it yet. Let's see. Nope. I don't put no rates in it at all. Alright. Now we gotta put a backing plate on first. Backing plate. Got teeth on it there for it to grip onto the prop. Got teeth on the back side there, grip onto the shaft. Now this ought to be tight. They want that to be tight too, yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Let me look on the instructions. They've got the best. And that goes on the end. And that thing goes all the way up against that cow. Let me check something. Missing a page. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that bolt's on there. It's on there. That's right. That's the only thing supposed to go. That's the only thing's in the bag. Well, that's going to fit right up against that cowl and rub on it, because it's kind of past that thing for a little bit. Ain't loose, is it? No. That's always flush against it. Well, that could be a problem. That could be trouble. Yeah, that's going to be rubbed all the way back up against that. Huh. A screw and a small washer that goes in between. Where does that washer go? That's got to go in between that. Oh my God. How the hell are you going to put that on? Looking for something here telling me what to do. It's got a diagram of the prop. Telling you what each piece is in. It's telling me there's part E. That's the backing plate. That bolt there, that's already been installed onto the motor. That's it right there, I guess. Because there ain't nothing in here but a screw, a hub,
And there's a little, that's your hub. That's the screw for the spinner. And then it gives you this little small washer that I imagine that goes in there so you can put it in between the spinner. Because it ain't gonna fit on that propeller shaft, I'll tell you that much. And that backing plate, well, let's see. Wait a minute, I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. See the thickness on this side and the thickness on that side? I was putting it on backwards. We got to put the point on the side that's got the thickness on it, up against the plane. EQ, come on, man. What's up with that? Yeah, that's got to be what it is. Got to be. Got to be, mister. Okay. Now, find a prop here. All right. It's going to turn that way. So it's got a hex bolt on it. There's a hex in the prop. But ain't no hex on the bolt, so we're going to go ahead and put it on there. You always put your number out first. Let me see here. Let me make sure it is. Let's see. Wait a minute. No. No, that can't be right. Oh, come on. Give me a break. That can't be right. What the hell? We gotta do something here. So this is turning this way. Yeah, okay. Alright, like I said, you get your numbers out on the outside there. Put that hub on. Now here's the trick sometimes with these props. You gotta find something you can get down in that shaft there. Try to hold that backing plate. I'm trying to hold the backing plate and the prop at the same time is what I'm trying to do. And after you get kind of tight, sometimes by just holding the prop will do it. But nope, that didn't slide. I can feel it. That's as tight as I can get there. Sometimes they can be a little pain. Dynam is bad about using those pressured shaft joiners or whatever the hell you want to call them. And if you don't get them tight, your prop will fly off in midair. So pilots, you got a Dynam that has them tight. Man, make sure you get that thing tight. Alright, I don't know what in the hell they got that washer in there like that for. You know, my picture, it don't even have the hub. It just got a nut they're telling you to put a nut on it. Maybe that's for a different setup. I'm gonna see how tight this gets it, but it might not. They might put that in there to hold the screw in. Oh crap, I put that Allen wrench up. This one's running a little long, I told you boys. That's a biplane for me. Took me a little bit to get that one. That's it. I'll try it with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And no, it might take 2 or 3 to get it up on the green, and it might take 2 or 3 more to put it in the hole. But you got to just work with it there and see if you can find it. I think I got it started. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Okay, you gotta make sure too, they got these little ribs on it. So that thing will be on there in one special kind of way. And watch me have it on there backwards, and I have to take it back off. Come on, baby. Yep. I got that prop out of line. So you got to have that prop on there a certain way. I know, I got to come back out. Come back out. Got to do it. Got to get that prop right between them little slots that's in that base. And that back plate. Yep, I'm way the hell off. Way the hell off. Alright, let's see, there's my... So we just want to turn this thing now, I guess, and see if we can get that straight. Yep, that ain't gonna be fine. That ain't gonna be fine. Oh, wait a minute, it's moving around there for me. Let's see what that does. I'm not sure how much further I got to go. Well, let me sound good. Lined it right up. Lined it right up. Alright, we got a par 4 coming up, about 100 yards. Looks like he's got a 9 iron. Former greenskeeper, gone pro. He goes in his wind up. Oh, it's a good one. Could be a good one. It's a good one. It's on the green. It's on the green. It's on the green. It's in the hole. It's in the hole. I think it is. Yes, it's in the hole. Former greenskeeper gone pro. Keep going a little bit more. Yeah, I think that thing did need that washer in between that spinner and the hub. They put that in there, I guess, because it just would have been too much. They put too much pressure on that spinner, I guess, so they wanted to do that. All right. Now, I've got to put my rods. Lord have mercy, we got another 10, 15 minutes of work to do. What does it say to put the clevis in on? Clevis ends on the bottom wing. So that means we're going to put in this way. Again, this is all new to me here. Fold it up here a little bit. You got to make sure. Now the original servos that's in it, they look like they lined up pretty good. Don't look like I need to do no moving on that one. And that's good too. Because you want your top one to be the same way. And I've got to come out some more on my clevis. Let's hold off right there just a sec. Hold mine in. A little bit more. Put it in there and just check. Perfect, perfect. Snap, crackle, pop. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Next. Inside. I didn't look at the instructions to see how to put this on, but I made my elbow and my wire go to the inside. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to even do that on this one. Yep, there it goes. Okay, it's a little bit tricky, a little tricky. That one's right, that one's right. Come down a little bit. Down a little bit more. Try that. Perfect, 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 perfect. Snap. Tubing on, check. Tubing on, check. I got left, I got right, I got left, I got right, I got left, I got right. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Give me a 50. Left rudder, right rudder. Ooh. That should have turned me off. Oh, wait a minute, wrong. That turned it on. That should be off. Yep, that turned it off. Switch. That's what it was. Yep. 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 That's gyro on. That should be just safe. It should be off. And the safe still on. Well, that's alright for me. That works for me. Because I'll use safe to take off in. And I'll fly a little bit, but then when I start getting in trouble there, I'll hit at that gyro. Now let me see here. I noticed that one of the wheels was a little tight. It was scrubbing up against the wheel cover, but I can live with that. Yep, she got some pep. She got some pep. That's just barely getting up to 3/4, and that's on carpet. Three-quarter right there, 3/4, and it's pulling it on carpet. Yeah, 880. Okay, all right. That's it for the setup. Got our battery now. Like I said, I got the 4-cell in there now. 4-cell. 2200 is in it, and I hadn't even checked the center of gravity. Center of gravity is, they're saying, is 86 millimeters from the top wing here, not the bottom wing, but the top wing. Okay. Give or take a 3 millimeters is what the book said.
26 millimeters. I'm at flat on the top of the wing. It's almost all the way back there to where that bracket, the mounting bracket, comes through the wing. So it's almost dead center, that bracket. Almost dead center. Like I said, I got a 4-cell in there, and I've got a 1/4 inch of a distance between the front of the slide. Okay, here we go. Man, I don't know. It being a bottom wing and a top wing. Man, I better do that from the other way. What do you think, Roy? What are you supposed to do? You supposed to do it from with the landing gear down or up? Because, man, it's staying right there in my hand with it down. Alright, now that's supposed to be right in line. Hell, that looks like that's right there where that, maybe a little bit ahead, a little bit in front of where that spar hole is. Wing spar hole. Yep, there's one over here too. I kind of eyeball it at first there. Get it up there for a second. Yep, I'm nose heavy. Boy, I'm nose heavy. Yep, I'm nose heavy with that one. Okay, that means I need to do that with a 3-cell. 3-cell 2200. Because I was way nose heavy. Man, I can't wait for this jewel. Now, Lee Davison, man, you a crazy nut. You'll take off in yours and go freaking nuts with it. Now, you won't see nothing like that out of mine if I can get up something on video. All you'll see is just nice circles. The pilots, there's your build for the 850 millimeter E-flite pits that I won off of DAVES RC. DAVES RC. Fly free or die. I'm out.